to buy this house. So it's their ball, their bat. They get to make the rules.
So if I come to you and say, I would like to borrow $50, you get to make the terms.
Yeah, I can say.
What? That's not fair.
I don't like it.
Come on.
It's like saying, how's it fair that I borrow $50 and I have to pay back $60?
Yeah,
it's just
right?
them's the rules. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it.
What, do you need some money, MJ?
Yeah.
No. Well, I need
$10.
Well, you could, I guess, the option is don't borrow the money. That's what it comes down to. It used to be before, the 1920s and 30s, there weren't big government mortgage companies.
You had to save your gold ducats till you had enough to go get a house. You either had the money
to buy the house or you didn't, or you borrowed it from somebody or you had it. But that was all of this lending was done to promote and make it so the middle class could afford housing and buy homes. Great question. Thanks for texting that in. You're listening to Home Loans Radio. We'll be right back for the last segment of the show.
Do you have a question for that mortgage guy, Don? Text us at 77031. Now back to Home Loans Radio on Real Radio.
Home Loans Radio on Real Radio. What up, Fritz here, and we got MJ and that mortgage guy, Don. If you have a question, text it in 77031 or homeloansradio.com or thatmortgageguyDon.com. What up, my people?
What up? Also, Instagram, that mortgage guy, Don.
All right.
Like and follow.
Okay. Click.
Welcome back to the Home Loans Radio Show. Let's jump right into some
questions.
Get some questions. We're running out of time here.
I have a 10-year-old, maybe 11-year, 30-year mortgage. It was FHA. It was 5.25 and has mortgage insurance. I want to refinance. My score is over 800. What kind of deal can I get? I'm 61 and I may want to get a 15 year.
Tell me I didn't understand the first part of the question.
They have a 10 or 11-year, 30-year FHA mortgage with PMI at 5.25.
So I'm guessing they have 10 or 11 years left, is what they're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably, and the loan amount?
They didn't give us that. Their FICA is over 800, and they want to do some things, some AC repair.
Okay, so they're looking to do some cash out.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that probably I would have you look at a 10-year conventional loan if you want to keep that time the same. If you want to stretch it out to a 15, you can. We can you can do a 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and we can do the numbers for each one. So you can see what the actual payments would be and what you're comfortable with, how much cash you want to get out. We figure it all out for you. Just go to homeloansradio.com, hit the apply now button, or set up a time to chat with me if you want to ask some questions first, and we'll get you a quote and send it over. But yeah, it sounds like you're definitely in a great position. You probably get a rate. Cash out's a little higher, but probably a rate 3% range, a little plus or minus a little bit. They also may have a very low loan to value, which helps with the rate. So they could still get a pretty good rate, even though they're taking some cash out.
My wife and I
take that back. On a 15-year loan, you're going to be down in the twos, like 2.5 range. Yeah.
My wife and I have 700 credit scores. Bought my house for 120, 099. It's now worth 150, and they've owned it for 8 years. They have a VA loan with a 3.45 interest. Are they good candidates for a refi?
You might be a candidate. Again, did they say the loan amount? Because that makes a big difference in how much they owe. Because smaller loans, it's not going to make as big of an impact. If you can get a rate down 0.75 point on $100,000 loan, that doesn't move the needle very much. But if it's a $400,000 loan, that moves the needle a lot. So I need a little more info. But you could probably qualify for something called a VA IRRL, interest rate reduction refinance loan, which is a streamlined VA. It's very, very easy to do. Don't need an appraisal in most cases. A very simple process. So yeah, we can put together some numbers and see how much we can save you. That's what I look at. And the VA has very specific rules. But the VA, if you can't recoup the closing costs within 48 months, they don't even let you do the loan on that.
They have 150 left. They just
I'd say at 150, I would say that it would make sense to look at. You could potentially get that down enough to where it would make a difference, and it's a very easy process with the interest rate reduction, the IRRL loan as they call it.
Question for you, Fritz: what song is it that you usually play when the show is ending?
Oh, that is Clack Your Bones from Corvus Incorporated. Corvus Incorporated.
Yes, that is Fritz's band. Some of the music he does with Sabrina Ambra. That was my first song that I really dug of Corvus Incorporated, and I asked Fritz, "Hey, can we play that at the end of the show?" And he was so gracious enough to do that.
I was like, "Heck yeah!"
And so, yeah, that's a really good song. But if you want to hear you should hear the whole thing. We
Yeah.
just play a little snippet of it. Go to Corvus Inc., look it up online, and Clack Your Bones is the song. It's a really good song.
Yeah, it really is. So
I
think
appreciate
it's-
that.
Thanks again, brother.
Yes, thank you. It's so
Well,
awesome. I love it so
You
much.
know what time it is, MJ?
I don't know. What time is it?
It's time for the speed round.
All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to
Yep.
answer them.
We're going to get to a bunch of the questions we didn't get to already. And if I don't get to your question, please do go to homeloansradio.com, pop it into the section there that says Ask Don, and I will get you an answer. Those come to my email. I answer every single one of them.
What is a reverse mortgage and what are the risks of a reverse mortgage?
That's not a speed round question.
Is it?
No, that's
Never mind. Moving on.
No, I give a brief answer, but if you want more info, hit me. A reverse mortgage is if you're over the age of 62, you can do a mortgage where you don't have to make any more mortgage payments, and you may actually be able to start getting payments to you of the equity that you have built up in your property. There's not really any risks if you're a good candidate for it. So we'd have to dig into that a little bit more, but I'm happy to help with that and set up a time to chat. But that's more than a 5-minute conversation.
All right. Hopefully this is a quick one. What does USDA stand for and what is a USDA loan?
United States Department of Agriculture, and it's a loan that you can
I
use.
get USDA steak sometimes.
Hopefully all the time.
Look at you, millionaire.
I know. As a special treat, I get the ones who've been inspected.
Going out to the farm and
I'm
getting
feeling flush.
you don't want to be out at a farm getting some steaks from Wormy the cow. I mean,
Oh.
you want the USDA ones, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, that is a mortgage that it was designed to bring people from the cities out towards the more rural areas. So they offer for people that have a middle to lower income, 100% financing on those homes that are out in rural areas if they're in the accepted areas.
I'm not ready to apply yet. Can I set an appointment just to ask a few questions? Can I do that without applying?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I always tell people go to the website and hit apply now because I want to make it easy for you. But if you've got questions, I'm not going to make you do the application. You can call in to talk to me or someone on my team. Just go to homeloansradio.com in the Ask Don section. Send me a note and we'll set up a time. We'll get your questions answered.
What is a piggyback mortgage and what's the benefit of a piggyback mortgage?
Piggyback mortgage, they're not as popular as they were back in the 10, 15 years ago. But piggyback mortgage is essentially a small second mortgage. Like if you're buying a house and you're trying to avoid PMI or put less money down, you can do like an 80% first mortgage through Fannie Mae, and then you can do another 10% mortgage, a little mortgage called a piggyback loan. So that way you can still borrow 90% of the value of the property, but you aren't paying PMI. So it's usually the rates are a little bit higher on those, like higher than your first mortgage. The ones I've seen lately, the rates have been around 4%, 5%. It could be a good idea for some people, especially in larger loan sizes. Sometimes people will do that to get their loan down below the jumbo limit.
All right, this is just a comment I missed earlier. The McGrath family says, my wife and I closed on our house yesterday using you and your team, Julie, Megan, Tori, Laura, and the rest of your team was fantastic. Thanks again.
Congrats,
Nice.
Danielle. I'm thank you so much for saying that, and congratulations on the new home.
When Billy's asked how old he is, he replies, in 2 years, I will be twice as old as I was 5 years ago.
Oh, damn.
How old is he?
It's riddle time.
It's math.
All right.
You should, and Fritz,
Let me get my pen. Go
All
ahead.
right, get your pen ready. Billy says
Mhm.
that he is, in 2 years, I will be twice as old as I was 5 years ago.
All right.
So 5 years ago.
So in 2 years, I will be twice as old as I was 5 years ago. So
we need to tell you how
Yeah.
old he is now.
all right.
Well, yeah, you're telling us how old is he? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, how old is he? So in 2 years, I'll be twice as old as I
Mhm.
was 5 years ago. So there's twice 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
So let's say for instance, so if he's 18 now, in 2
Right.
years he'll be 20,
Mhm.
which is twice as old as he was 5 years ago. So that doesn't work. That doesn't fit. So let's think of another example.
I'm going to say he's 10.
So
well, I think you're on the right track, Fritz, but you're forgetting
Yeah.
about the 2 years ago.
Mm.
all right, say it one more time.
In 2 years, I will be twice as old as I was 5 years ago.
In 2 years, I'll be twice as old as I was 5 years ago. So if Billy is 12,
Mm-hmm.
in 2 years he'll be 14, And yeah, that checks out. So Billy is 12.
Billy is 12.
Yeah, because 5 years ago he would have been 7, and in 2 years he'll be 14.
Is that right? Yeah, it's right. The answer is 12.
I'm waiting for you to verify my math. Fritz.
That is the answer. I don't know if you got there, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he just said.
Yeah. All
Thanks,
right.
Fritz. Good job.
Thanks, Fritz.
Well, folks,
You've done it.
you've done it. You've successfully whiled away another 90
You made
minutes
it.
of your weekend morning. I love that show.
How do we do it?
How do we do it? Thanks for listening. Fritz is going to play us out of here. We'll talk to you next week. This is Clack Your Bones.
And your ears should the lesson be known. You can frighten death if you clack your bones. 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 No matter where you roam, your skeleton can clack your bones.
You've been listening to Home Loans Radio with that mortgage guy, Don. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. on Real Radio 104.1 and check us out online at homeloansradio.com.